Now that Philippa had outgrown the fox, and with no real pressing conquests to match the fervour of that obsession, she realised she had nothing left to do. So to fill the emotional void, she began to devote herself completely to cup collecting. She collected cups of all shapes and sizes, a pursuit that was considered by some friends as quirky, and other, more honest friends, as a pathological need for something out of reach. For Philippa, though, the type of cup could make or break the quality of the tea experience, hence the need for such discrimination with her daily choice. Philippa's favourite cup was a unique handmade pottery cup. A friend had chipped it once, and Philippa had lovingly restored it. When she chose this cup for her morning tea, she knew that the day would be special, unique, and exciting. Some days, however, she just didn't have the courage for the unexpected. At those moments, she would choose a very plain cup from a set she had purchased on sale at IKEA. No room for disappointment there. Then one morning, after several months of drowning in her emotional extinction, she stood back and viewed the display of magnificent collected hopes awaiting selection. All of them quietly beseeching her to fulfill their destiny and be the one to carry her morning tea. But suddenly, they no longer promised anything at all to her, except her lack of fulfillment. Now all she saw before her was a cupboard full of longing. Now, there are several things a girl can do when she is betrayed by yet another emotional cowboy. She can disappear into the arms of a sonic embrace, collect her tears into plastic bottles and sell them as recycled water at the local growers market. Adopt pets so she will never be in want of unconditional love again. Draw a portrait of the last cowboy in every art style from the last century. Dada. Pop. Postmodernism, until she is so sick of him that she is pleased to be rid of him. Alternatively, she can choose to become really, really fit, sexy, and super strong. And finally, be the boy that she's been waiting for, sort of like an Indiana Jones warrior of the heart. Philippa Finch was in a quandary. Although she was filled with a desperate longing for perfect love once more, she also was, to say the least, apprehensive to let her heart out for a walk into the realm of uncertainty. But something had to happen, and she realized that she had no choice but to add further connections to her life that were on the cusp of maybe love. One of these distractions was Skater Boy, a gentle soul who had been skating in and out of Philippa's life since art school, always delivering fresh magic with either a secret gift or a gorgeous comment, and yet somehow always remaining wistfully unattainable. Although her feelings were big, extending this magical connection into anything other than inspired platonic joy was unthinkable. For lurking on the edges was his girlfriend, whom he had been courting since the Industrial Revolution, and who was less than overjoyed by Philippa's presence. Philippa Finch had encumbered the unsuspecting skater boy with the role of being her only umbilical cord to magic, and his complete unavailability had morphed him into a romantic hero of mythological proportions. With a sudden desperation, there was nothing Philippa would not do to nurture the thread of hope that Skater Boy delivered. So when he invited her to another exhibition of his latest video installation, she accepted. But then she remembered something. At every one of his exhibitions, she had found herself alone, weaving through a lot of affected art crowd twits and coming across like the town idiot by having a smile on her face. With everybody being incredibly individual and yet no surprises about seeing a blue fringe, a face devoted to multiple piercings, or the sudden need to adorn black-framed glasses. As Philippa held the invite in her hands, she felt an unprecedented desire to fit in and be accepted by a world that had rejected her. So she starved herself for 2 weeks and bought herself a pair of skinny-leg jeans. She changed her posture, She cut her hair in a manner that meant, in essence, she couldn't see, and naturally, she fell over in front of him. So presuming that Skater Boy was done with her, she quickly escaped home and watched for an hour for stepping outside her sense of self for a boy. Then unexpectedly, while she hid from the world, Philippa began to receive gorgeously handwritten letters from Skater Boy, all of them written with care on unusual papers from different cities around the world. The letters were ambiguous, intimate, and supremely romantic. At last, a male who understood that if they just took the time to use a fountain pen instead of a laptop keyboard, they would find the door to her heart open. Skater Boy had aroused in her a kind of charm that meant that the world had a special meaning and she had a place in it. She could walk the streets, and it was not just another pavement, but a golden road towards a hope that was constantly manifesting. Philippa Finch was celebrating the promise of romantic hope in a magnificent dress and luxuriating in the magic of handwritten letters from Skater Boy. But her joy was thwarted by the discovery that he had been back in her hometown without even so much as a buenos dias in her direction. Furthermore, he was still involved with the same darling he'd been with since 400 BC. Philippa wondered what she thought of the letters. It would be an understatement to say that she felt foolish for celebrating her feelings in what now appeared to be a grandiose and deeply premature way. So Philippa took out a pen and wrote several times, "Emotional ambiguity is the poetic path to an ulcer." After that, she felt a little better, more in control. But to be certain, she cleaned the house using 2 tubs of gumption, Jif, and Mr. Sheen furniture polish, organised all her cutlery in a row, and hid away all clothes that did not fit with the monastic blue and brown colour code. Then she made herself a cup of Earl Grey tea after deliberating for 20 minutes over which vessel was appropriate for the occasion. Under normal circumstances, she would have felt a whole lot better, but some further purging seemed necessary. So she began to cut her hair, until she ended up past the point of no return. Now all she had to show for herself was the absence of poets and a bad haircut. Philippa Finch, the official pin-up girl for the emotionally thwarted. At this stage, the hair just stays the same, but like Philippa, you begin to wear a cap. You start to be seen in public in a one-piece lycra bodysuit. And you start to jog. You jog everywhere. Through busy cities, busy restaurants, and busy zoos. And you don't know why you are jogging, or where you are jogging to. You just jog.